Hey, we're going to be taking the derivative of x cubed tan 1 over x over the square root of x cubed plus 1. And you can partially see the answer over here. And remember, the d over dx means, okay, look, we want to take the derivative of what's in the brackets here. Okay, so hang on, this is going to be a wild ride. Now, you remember when we take derivatives, we usually have to sometimes rewrite them before we can actually take the derivative, and I kind of skipped that step. But remember, we want to get this bottom part out of radical form and put it into exponential form, where this is x cubed plus 1 raised to the 1/2 power. Well, since this is a fraction here, what I'm going to do is use the quotient rule, and that is take the derivative of the numerator first. Now you notice we have two separate functions up here. We have an x cubed and a tan 1x. So in order to take the derivative of the numerator, I'm going to have to use the product rule. So let's do that first. So the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared times, and then we rewrite the second function, plus rewriting the first function times the derivative of the second. So the derivative of tan of 1 over x is going, the derivative of tan is secant squared, and then we rewrite what's in parentheses, and then remember we chain out what's in parentheses outside, and the derivative of 1 over x is just negative 1 over x squared. And I'm going to assume that you know how to take the derivative of 1 over x and how we got this. Okay, well, that's the derivative of the numerator. Now we rewrite the denominator. Now you notice I put this in brackets here. We rewrite the denominator minus the numerator, rewriting the numerator here, times, now we're going to take the derivative of the denominator. Now this right here is the denominator, this piece right here. Okay, remember I said get it out of radical form, put it in exponential form. So we take the 1/2, we bring it out front, rewriting everything in parentheses, subtracting 1 from the half, and you get negative 1/2. Then we take the derivative of what's in parentheses and chain it out. So the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Of course, derivative of 1 is 0. Okay, well, that takes care of the numerator of this fraction here. Now we take the denominator, remember, and we just square it. Okay, so now we're left with just a whole bunch of algebra. So we want to try to simplify this thing down as much as we can. And what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to factor out this x cubed plus 1 to the half, x cubed plus 1 to the negative 1/2, but the one we want to factor out, remember, is the one with the smallest exponent. And I'm also going to pull this fraction out, this half here. I'm going to pull a half out. So these are the two. I'm going to pull this guy completely out, which will just be left with one of them here, and then I'm going to pull this half out right here. Okay, so I pulled the half out, rewrote this x cubed plus 1 to the negative 1/2. Now I started a bracket here. Everything's going to be in brackets. Now these parentheses here was our initial brackets right here. Okay. So this is what I factored out. And we're going to be just left with one of them here, right? If I pulled out a negative 1/2, and this was originally a half here, when we pull that out, we're just left with a 1. Think about it this way. If you took this 1 and you add it to the minus 1/2 here, you end up with a half. Okay. Now that 2, that half I pulled out, we should have been just left with a 2 here, but I went ahead and distributed the 2 inside. Okay, I went ahead and just for some reason brought it inside right here. Okay, so what we're left with in this piece here, we took the x cubed plus 1 to the negative 1/2 out, so that's the reason it's not in here, and we also removed the 1/2. And after simplifying it down, this is what we end up with. And down here, we, remember, squared the bottom. I'm going to take this piece down into the bottom, and there it is. The next thing you want to do is just full these two guys out, right? 6x squared tan 1 over x times this, and so forth. Full those out. Then once we've done that, we're going to go up here and collect all the like terms. I want to collect all like terms. And once you do that, this should be our final result.